Hello, everybody, and welcome to Uproot Reddit. Customer service workers, no matter what the company is, deal with a vast array of people. Some clients are easier to deal with, whereas other clients, well, they like to vent all their problems and frustrations on the customer service representatives as though they are getting a free therapy session. How annoying would that be to step into a customer service representative's shoes? Well, Reddit user Jax Leo had that experience. They were just helping their grandma, who frequents the bank, when this happened. In today's post, help a bank worker now deal with the client. When your ability to help others turns into a job you weren't hired for, oh boy, here comes the awkward conversations. Here's what happened. Quote, "My grandma usually does a lot of stuff in the bank. She's pretty well known there, and there's this one worker she usually goes to who helps her. Due to COVID, she wasn't able to go there in person, so she asked me to help her get a receipt she needed for the bank to approve a credit. She gave my phone number to the worker and told me to send him through WhatsApp the receipt once I had downloaded it. Note, to get access to it, you need very personal information like bank accounts, passwords, and everything. But since she's my grandma, I had no problem with her entrusting that information to me. So I did as she asked and thought it would be the end of it. Well, turns out it might not be. A few weeks after that, the same bank worker called out of nowhere. I answered thinking he needed something for my grandma again. The guy told me he needed the same receipt I had given him a few weeks prior, but for a different client of his, a completely unknown person. Is that legal? He told me that he had spoken with my grandma and that she said I agreed to help him. She never called me to ask." Oh, that's where the awkwardness comes from. So I started explaining him the steps he should follow to get it on his own. But no, he insisted and started spewing out the personal data of the client as if it was nothing serious. And that's a pretty big deal. I mean, if you're spewing information about another client to a random stranger, that should say something, and not in a good way. At that point, I just wanted to be done with it and did as he told me just so I could hang up the call. Thought that'd be the end of it again. And once more, I was so wrong. So this time around, the person that called me was the client from last time around. Awkward. The bank worker gave him my number and told him I could help him if something happened. He started telling me how he accidentally had locked his bank account and needed me to help him recover it, even though Jax Leo doesn't work at that bank. I started explaining to him that I really couldn't help him, that he should be calling the bank worker to help him. And then the guy started getting annoyed and talking in a very loud tone, as entitled as he could get, telling me how I was a bad bank worker and that he would get me fired for refusing to help him. And I was like, "Sir, I don't work in the bank. I just helped the guy get a receipt, and now look where that's got me." I'm thinking that this bank employee was thinking that Jax Leo was part of the bank's branch and decided, hey, how about you take my responsibilities and I'll give them over to you. That's kind of awkward and also very sketchy. Makes me wonder if this bank employee was a newbie. Anyways, we continue. The guy apologized in an annoyed tone and hung up. And that's about everything of that. For now, at least. And here's a TLDR quote from Jax Leo. "I wanted to help my grandma sort things out with a bank, helped the employee to solve things, and then he started thinking he could use my help whenever he wanted and gave my number to a client telling me I deal with his issue. So practically asking for free help. Yeah, I don't think that was such a good move on the bank employee's part. I mean, disclosing clientele information to a random stranger that doesn't work at the bank is considered a breach in privacy. So, first off, Jack's Leo was just helping Granny out. Nothing more. Second of all, disclosing such personal information can result in termination of a job or way worse. So, bank employee, whoever you are, make sure that you take care of your own responsibilities because you're paid for it. Don't put all the responsibility on Jack's Leo or people like Jack's Leo. Anyways, encountering random strangers as an employee may be normal, but to a customer who barely knows a soul at the store can be very, well, awkward. Especially at a store where it's difficult to find certain items. Take, for example, Reddit user Pakachan's experience at the craft store. They were just looking for one thing, one item only, yet couldn't find the hired help in today's post, a store where I don't know who the heck anybody is. That's got to be mad frustrating, trying to navigate through a store and questioning which person is the employee, even if they have a uniform on. But here's what happened to Pakachan. I was at a chain craft store getting some stuff, but was having trouble finding something. It's notoriously hard to get help at this place. That's not a good reputation to have as a store. I spotted a lady with a cart full of different types of frames, and she was putting a lot of them back on the shelf. I approached her to ask for help, and nope, she didn't work there. Just really likes frames, I guess. I mean, who doesn't? I apologized and walked away, eventually locating my item. I went to the checkout counter, and there was a lady lined up with a cart full of items, semi-blocking the entrance to the registers. You know how there is that "wait here" sign at multi-register stores? Ugh, tell me about it. She was blocking that gateway. I stood there patiently for a bit before she suddenly noticed me and started laughing and went, "Oh, sorry, I work here. You can go ahead." Just know that if you're standing in a register line, people are going to automatically line up behind you thinking, hey, this register is perhaps going to be open very soon, so I might as well just get in line right now. So I'm not sure if this lady was being professional or if she was waiting for somebody and they were taking very long, but to tell Pakachan that, hey, I kind of do work here, and then just laugh it off, it increases the awkwardness by a lot. But on a positive note, she did say that she worked there, so thank you so much for clarifying that, because sometimes we do mistake customers for employees, especially that lady that had a ton of frames in her basket. She wasn't stalking or anything, so I don't know why she was standing there. I paid and went home wondering why everybody was trying to trick me today. I don't know, it's kind of awkward that a lot of employees in that craft store were just standing there or pretty much not doing anything. And if the craft store is notorious for having employees be there to not help you, that's saying a lot. Maybe management should talk to their employees on proper customer service. It's either the employees were just standing around doing nothing and hopefully getting paid at the end of the day, or maybe they were practicing an April Fool's joke. And Pakachan, you were their involuntary tester. Who knows? But in all honesty, I bet that was the most awkward experience ever. Just standing in line and waiting for that person to open up the register, and then all of a sudden they turn around and, oh, hey, I work here. Okay, thank you for that, but is anybody going to help me out? For those of you who are in customer service, I'm wondering, is this something that happens on a regular basis, or is it just this craft store? In fact, I'm curious. For customers, have you had any awkward encounters at a store where you accidentally mistook another customer for an employee? If so, let us know. And, honestly, for that craft store, I can't imagine going back to that store anytime soon, though, especially for Pakachan. Anyways, that's all the time we have for today. But don't worry, we'll be back for more random workers posts right here on Uproot Reddit. Also, please don't forget, be sure that you're talking to a customer service representative before giving out your personal information, be it at the bank or when it comes to technical difficulties. And guess what? We'll see you all next time.